It's a video that shocked millions around the world. Not really. I don't think anybody was shocked by it. You saw the videos? 50 plus people ransacking an LA Nordstrom store for over $100,000 worth of luxury goods. It's only going to get worse. It's only going to keep happening because they're not doing anything about it. Take a look at this tweet. I was shopping at Topanga Mall when this happened. They started stealing all the designer from Nordstrom's. First of all, they allow crime to happen. They won't go after these people. They won't be able to go after these people. There's no cultural cohesion anymore. Cities are breaking down. It's happening right before your eyes. At the highest level of politics, they're arresting their political rivals. Come on. The night is always darkest before the dawn, as they say. So I do think we are heading in a positive direction, but that doesn't mean we will not face hard times. Take a look at this video. Yeah, that noise is just them ransacking everything. Crazy. The employees don't really get back. They're running in, wearing masks and black hoodies, just stealing whatever they can.
This is fucking crazy, y'all. This is nuts.
No one will do anything about this.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy.
These people don't even care if they get caught. I saw a video where you had these guys stealing from a grocery store. They're not even wearing masks. They don't care. What are you going to do? The cops will do nothing. You see, these are not problems of law. They're problems of culture, which is why I scream about culture all day and night. Culture is fractured. I blame the internet largely, but for the most part, it is the fault of all of us. Now, of course, some people are more to blame than others, but for the most part, all of us, we don't talk to our neighbors anymore. We don't make it a habit of borrowing a cup of sugar. We don't go to church. Not that you have to. You have to be religious or anything, but that was a cultural hub where we would come together and we would build cultural cohesion. We don't fear being shunned anymore. There are people who live in neighborhoods who don't care what their neighbors think about them because they found community online. They are satisfying their social needs through the internet. And that means the creepiest weirdos can find hubs and hives of creepy weirdos. And that means when it comes to these cities, these stores, nobody cares. There's no cop, for the most part. I'm not saying every cop, that's going to go risk their lives to track down this dude who stole a hoodie. It's $50. Who cares? Now you can make the argument, yeah, but it's $100,000. Okay, try RICO. Go after them as a criminal organization. Now you're going to have to try and figure out which one of them. You're going to figure out if any of them are organized in any way, and they're probably not. Probably some dude just said, you guys want to go? It's like after high school, or they're in high school after class, and they're like, hey, let's go to Nordstrom. And they show up. Sure, some guy said, let's go do it. Maybe one person had the idea, but what are you going to do? Now, some believe that these gangs are highly organized, and they're exploiting the fact that we have seen in the news over and over again in these Democrat-run cities. You can walk into a CVS or a Walgreens or a Target store, shovel products into a garbage bag, and walk on out. The good news, I guess, is that the guys in Stockton, California, the Sikhs who stopped the guy from robbing the store are not going to be prosecuted. They were defending their store. There was a big public outcry. But I don't see this. I don't see this stuff stopping. I see it increasing. And you know what? It's breeding conspiracy theories. When I say conspiracy theory, I am not outright saying these theories are incorrect, but it is breeding conspiracy theories. The idea being, you want a smart city? You want to get rid of consumerism? You want to destroy cities? This is how you do it. I got some theories. I got some ideas. I'll tell you this. It's not the first time we've seen something like this with these photos of these people looting and ransacking. It's not the first time we've had mass gangs storming into stores like this. But I have to wonder. I tell you, I think cities suck. I used to love cities. Now I don't like them. I liked cities because they were cultural hubs. Now that's meaningless with the internet. I grew up in Chicago. I skateboarded and played music, and Chicago sucks rather culturally. And so it's New York or it's LA, but LA seems to be a lot where the skateboarding was. Tried LA, bit spread out, but a lot of stuff going on. Found my way to New York. Went to Seattle and a few other cities. Lived in New York for, how long did I live in New York for? Man, almost a decade. That's kind of crazy. I was there in 2011 with Occupy Wall Street, left briefly for a year to go to Miami, but came back. Well, I shouldn't say decade. I think it was like 8 years altogether. Went to, South Jersey. And I started to realize that with the internet, you don't actually need to be in these cities to produce culture. Many people have become successful living in random places because they have access to the internet, and the internet is a great place to build a community. But with cities, it got worse. Violent crime, vandalism, theft, shootings, things like that. And racist cops, the left kept saying. But they never seemed to solve these problems. Add on all of their complaints about climate change. And I just started to think, you know what, man? The people who live in these cities have stupid politics. They don't pay attention to the news. They complain about climate change, but they are the problem related to climate change, and they don't stop what they're doing. They have a problem with guns, and they want to take your guns from you somewhere else. And I said, these people are really dumb. Not every single person, obviously, but there's a lot of really dumb people voting in these cities. And here's where I'm at now. So in New York, you have a hyper concentration of waste, chemicals, and garbage. It smells like sour milk. The air is bad for you. People are generally unhappy. They walk super fast. It's just not the way humans are supposed to live. It got out of control. So you know what? I take those climate change arguments and I say, great, get people to move out of cities. That's kind of what they want. But we also hear from the World Economic Forum types, the Davos group, they want these 15-minute cities. In fact, they want to create pockets where you live and you never leave. That's the idea. Everything you need is in your 15-minute city. You will be in the middle of nowhere. You will not need access to any other part of the world because you'll all live in virtual reality and you will eat bug mush. They'll take bugs, they'll mush them up, and you will eat that. But they'll flavor it. Don't worry. It'll taste good, I guess. Or they'll put you in the Neuralink so they can make you taste whatever you want to taste. Is it really so bad? Really? Plug in the brain chip, and that cockroach tastes like chocolate cake. The cities are rather awful, and I wonder how much of this is intentionally being done, or how much of it is that we've just given up culturally. I think of the greatest generation of the generations before us, and they had, social enforcement, right? If you talk about social enforcement now, you get looked at like some kind of demon or vampire. Now you have these people ransacking stores. The cops aren't going to do anything about it. They're going to say, what do you want us to do? Even though surveillance technology has never been greater, they will do nothing to stop it because they don't care. A lot of these cops, a lot of these security guys, intel agency guys, anybody who could stop this, they're sitting around thinking like, dude, I don't care. It's not your shirt. The company's got insurance. That's what they'll say. But it's grains of sand building up a heap. As more and more of this stuff happens, what do you get? Hotels. Look at this. Wow. Wild mob of thieves ransack YSL luxury store in California. What are you going to get? The mall in San Francisco shutting down. I don't think it's shutting down necessarily, but they are surrendering their lease. 2 major hotels also surrendering. This precipitates a total shutdown. What happens when you have massive buildings, 100,000 square? I think it's like 30,000 square feet. No, actually, I think it's way more than that. It's got to be like 100,000 square feet. What happens when they're unoccupied? They fall into disrepair. Then you're going to get homeless people, drug users. These cities will become wastelands. And people will happen. What happened to these once great American cities? They were burnt to a crisp. Democrat policies, selfish individuals, self-righteousness, and people voting for trash. I love it. People are sharing around this video of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez saying stuff like, when people are shoplifting, it's because they need bread. People ain't shoplifting here because they need bread. They're stealing designer clothing and no one is doing anything to stop it. The laws are designed to prevent the security guards at these stores from stopping these individuals. They'll sue and likely win. The cops aren't going to show up because it's too dangerous and they don't want to get involved. Why? For your massive corporate brand? Sorry, have a nice day. And thus, it all comes crashing down. You know where we were better off? When we had the small business. When it was individuals running their own companies and everyone worked together. And you were scared that if you got caught doing something like this, you'd be shunned and ostracized, but not anymore. Now, you'll get away with it. The cops don't care, and the politicians don't care. Anyone tries to stop you, they'll be called racist. If the criminal attacks someone and that person defends themselves, they find themselves going to jail. That's why it feels like it's on purpose. But I don't think it is. I think it is social and cultural decay. An innocent bystander who is attacked and defends himself will submit to the police and say, look, I was defending myself, because they're a law-abiding citizen. Easy target for the cops to be like, okay, fine. But these criminals, the cops are going to be like, they're dangerous, scary, and they ran away. So now you have anarcho-tyranny. And you know what? So many of these Democrat voters keep voting for it because they don't learn. Fine, whatever. I got out of the cities. I walk outside. I got fresh apples. I got grapes, wine berries, blackberries, greenbrier berries. Apparently, we have crepe myrtle berries coming. And those apparently don't taste too good. But they're savory, apparently, and astringent. I don't know if I want to eat that. We also have, there's another berry nearby. They say it's citrusy and pepper. There's berries all over the place. It's crazy. Fruit just growing all over. We can grow our own vegetables, grow our own fruits. We've got cherry trees all over the property, cherries just everywhere. The chickens lay fresh eggs. Man, truly, it is a paradise. We're more self-sufficient. We have solar power. We have a septic system that's, for the most part, self-regulating, but you do got to get the guys to come out every once in a while to check up on it. Man, it's pretty good out here. It is. I wonder if that's why they want cities to crumble. Or perhaps cities are crumbling because they suck. I'll leave it there. Next segment is coming up tonight at 8 p.m. over at youtube.com/TimcastIRL. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you all then.